We are the Church of St. Anne's Youth Group from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, connecting faith and life. And you're watching Real Faith TV.
Most people post selfies as a sense of self-confidence and just to make themselves feel better.
There are a lot of reasons why people take selfies. Some are for attention because maybe they feel left out. So for selfies, they'll just show them at different places just to make people feel like they're fun and people will notice them. Some people post ugly selfies just to poke fun at their friends or themselves just to have fun.
When you feel good about yourself and maybe you look nice that day, and if you've had confidence issues in the past, and then I think go right ahead and you should do that as long as you're not doing it in a self-absorbed kind of manner.
Sometimes it's part of their career because they're into social media and stuff.
Some people might take it as in they want attention, or they just want a deeper need to hear they're pretty.
I think that people put in racy photos and selfies on the internet because they want to get attention.
I believe that there's a fine line between conceited and confidence.
If they're really confident, they'll post a lot of selfies just to feel good about themselves, but some people need to feel like they're actually pretty or they look good. So they'll post a bunch of selfies trying to make them feel better.
It kind of fills the void. It's one of those temporary pleasure kind of things. You feel really good about it when you first do it, but then in 10 minutes, you really don't get much out of it.
So Joe, you want to take a selfie?
Of course.
Hashtag RFTV season 16, hashtag selfie.
Did you know there's over 300 million pictures on Instagram with hashtag selfie?
It doesn't take long before we stop scrolling through those pictures.
A bunch of them are sexual, some straight up pornographic.
Some are cute, like the one of a toddler obviously posted by a parent.
Some involve shopping trips, travels, and groups of friends.
Not all of it is bad, but not all of it is good either.
What are we to make of this cultural trend? What is a Catholic perspective on the hashtag selfie?
It's all about me and my selfies. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Corey.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Real Faith TV.
We'd like to thank the members of St. Anne's Youth Group in Lawrenceville, New Jersey for helping us open the show today.
And for giving us some insights to why people enjoy posting selfies, or self-portraits, usually taken with a smartphone or mobile device.
When we take a selfie, we're putting the focus on the me. Where am I going? Who am I with? How do I look?
People rarely ever post selfies where they look like a hot mess. Part of the point is look great and attractive, interesting, and having fun.
While it seems like something simple and fun to share with others, the whole selfie phenomenon can be quite addictive when others weigh in through likes and comments, constantly giving us praise and attention.
This can easily lead us into a mentality of self-centeredness and even narcissism,
where we begin to obsess about our own interests and physical appearance.
I'm sure we all know a few people who can be a bit excessive in the selfie department.
The important thing is to know the difference between when it's appropriate and when it becomes an obsession.
Let's meet our spotlight guest, Ella, who will explain how she defines what a selfie is.
And how she thinks everyone looks better when taking a selfie.
A selfie, I guess, is like a self-portrait, just taking a picture of yourself. But I don't know, I don't take them of myself. I say myself way too much anyway. So I take them with my friends, and it's kind of like a memory marker, and it reminds you how happy you are with someone or where you were that day. It's more of like the modern photo album. The comments and responses that I get from anything I post, it's never really negative because I don't post anything that people can really hate on, you know? The pictures that I post, it's more just things that make me happy, and then I don't have to worry about any negative comments or judgments. I like to look at who does like my pictures, and there's some people they like every single picture, and they're just, good friends. It's almost like a friend's duty to like your picture. But it's not like I need to see what the comments are to feel good about the picture. I'm still liking it even if no one else does, you know. There's something about the angle of a selfie that I like. I feel like if I take a selfie, the picture looks better. Like if I have my mom take the picture, I feel like I'm gonna, you know, just have a bad posture or like my face is gonna look like, you know, chubby or whatever. But something about a selfie, you can hold your hands just right, you know, like your face is like, it's on an angle, like you just, everyone looks better in a selfie. So I like taking them rather than like an actual photograph. I remember just the other week I was taking one with my grandpa for Father's Day. Like he's like, wait, what are we doing? I'm like, this is a selfie, Grandpa. He's like, what? And I'm like, trust me, we're gonna look better. And he liked the picture, it was cute.
You know, I like what Ella said about selfies being like a memory maker, and I do think that's true. I think you take a selfie so that you can have that moment with you, and you can put it in your own personal little scrapbook.
Yeah, selfies really just help you, you know, capture the moment, so you can always remember that moment in your future years, you know? Well, let's see what our studio guests have to say about this topic.
Okay, they are
Emily,
Caroline,
Lexi,
Naira,
Michael,
Amanda,
and John. So, how many selfies a day do you guys post, and why do you like taking them so much?
Well, for me, I know I don't really post that often. I post maybe a picture on my Instagram, maybe every I think like 6 months or so. Usually I only post on like occasions, like if it's Christmas and I'm with the family, or if it's Easter and I'm with the family, or if it's like prom or whatever, things like that.
I take selfies all the time, but I never post them just because I feel like they're not Insta-worthy. I don't know, that's just me maybe.
No, I definitely feel the same way because like I have probably one selfie on my whole Instagram page. Everything else is kind of more artsy.
I take selfies all the time, like all the time. Like, because I use Snapchat a lot. And I don't know, I just like being in control of the picture because I'm a very controlling person. And that's something I really like about the selfies is because I get to take it myself so I know how to make it look good.
Yeah, I'm with Michael on this one. I barely take any selfies, to be honest.
You like in posting it too, you feel all like appreciated and everyone like likes it and you know, it's a good confidence booster. So that's why like a lot of people take them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that a selfie is a confidence booster because, you know, you post it on Instagram or, you know, and you see people are liking it, people are commenting, oh, you're so pretty, and it's like, yes, people like me. And I think that's like one of the main things that people love about selfies, like posting them online. So what are we looking for when we post a selfie?
Sometimes it's to share our life with others. We enjoy letting others know what we are up to and who we are with.
Our friends and family on Facebook and Instagram may not see us on a regular basis, so posting a picture is a nice way to keep them in the loop.
However, we should keep in mind that true intimacy involves personal interactions, whether it's through a phone conversation or over coffee.
Are you closer to someone when they like your photo or when you actually sit down and tell them about your trip abroad or the basketball game you won last weekend?
Sometimes we want to feel appreciated and loved through our selfies.
But we need to look to the actual relationships with God, family, and friends for these desires to be fulfilled.
We should never settle for the shallow fulfillment of a few likes and comments on a photo.
We should never allow photos to define who we are or alter us into a person we aren't.
Next, Ella explains how making selfies is a form of entertainment.
And how each selfie has a story behind it, much like when you're looking at a scrapbook.
Taking selfies, it's something to do when there's a lull in the day or a conversation. You know, you take a selfie, it's a form of entertainment. And then, you know, posting them, you can have fun editing them. It's entertainment basically, but they've become such a big thing in our society. You have to take them because certain moments call for a selfie, and it's just it's a norm now. Instagram is like a scrapbook. You see photographs, memories, people that are your best friends that you may forget about over time. It's a nice little organized way to keep your favorite moments. I mean, there's always that saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I would say that sometimes if you just take a selfie, take a picture, you get everything you're looking for. You get the story behind it, the background, you know, like what's going on around you. You get the emotions of people in it. Like it tells an entire story in one picture than if you tried to relay the message. So I think that selfies are actually beneficial to storytelling in that sense. Probably a huge correlation with your security level and the amount of selfies that you post. I feel like the more you post, the more dependent you are on your likes, and if you don't have your likes, then you feel like no one likes you. I mean, if you just do it as, you know, like I said, like a photo album, a scrapbook, a timeline of memory, it's for your own benefit than for the rest of the world's, and, you know, worrying too much about what the world thinks, it's not worth it. I usually post selfies just to remind me of how happy I am or a moment in time.
So, do you think selfies are just a harmless form of self-expression, or is there a deeper meaning where you need attention and recognition from others?
I think most of the time, I mean, for me personally, it's rather harmless. Like, you know, I kid and I'm like, oh, I need to get this picture on Instagram because I need people to know that, like, there's still beauty in the world. You know, I don't get to see everyone all the time, like whether it's my friends that graduated or my family that lives far away, like, oh, I just went to prom, like, look at the pictures, you didn't get to come. Or like, I'm in this show this weekend, come see it. Like, you know, it's that kind of thing for me.
I feel that for me, more or less, it's not a harmful thing. It's just, you know, like John was saying, it's, oh, well, I just did this, it was fun. It's just not always easy to keep in touch with everybody, and I think it's a simple way to keep in touch and let people into your life, you know?
Yeah, I agree with both of you, but there are some people who will like try so hard to look so perfect in the selfie, and I'm like, you should love yourself the way you look and not care how perfect you look.
Yeah, like some people I know will post selfies like to get recognition and say like they only get like 5 likes on that picture, they'll take it down, or like if not many people comment on it, they'll take it down, and they just do it to get recognition for it and to hear certain things that they want to hear.
I have a friend who constantly texts me and my brother saying, like my picture, and if he doesn't get a certain amount of likes, he does take it down, which is kind of sad. It should be for your own good. Like, you should want to take pictures and post them because you liked the picture.
Yeah, I agree, because like mostly people just take selfies to like get likes and stuff on Instagram and Snapchat and other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like selfies like just encourage people to like compare themselves to others. Like, oh wow, I got like 50 likes on this picture, but wait, she got 200 likes. Now I feel like I'm less of a person, you know. But I mean, other than that, I think selfies can be most of the time are like harmless, you know.
I think it's interesting you all said that, because I know I do that all the time. Like, if a picture only has like 10 likes, I'm like, oh no, that can't happen. So I take it down, and like, I think it's interesting how like other people see like, you know, like you should be proud of who you are, not because of how people look at you. And, you know, I think it's good to hear that.
Well, there's no question that selfies are often used to get attention.
When we have this desire for attention and affirmation, we really need to stop and look at where this desire is coming from and address it correctly.
Underneath a desire for attention might be a real need or desire for validation out of insecurity or loneliness.
We can easily compromise our dignity by posting provocative and sexually suggestive pictures.
In St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, he writes,
"Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God?"
Are we revealing the fullness of who we are and who we want to be when we take a selfie?
Let's face it, a simple selfie is a great way to get a self-esteem boost, particularly about our body image, something we're all self-conscious about at some point.
When our self-image and body image are wrapped up with our social media likes and comments, we forget that we are made in God's image and likeness.
We must remember that it is in Him that we are always loved, always valued, and always beautiful.
This validation from God is all we really need and offers far more rewards than just being a like click on some page.
Let's go back to Ella, where she talks about ways people can get carried away when it comes to taking selfies.
And how too often people are acting out of insecurity and looking for worthiness through posting selfies.
I think people definitely get carried away with their selfies sometimes. Selfies are an easy thing that when you're taking one with a friend, you can easily take like 15. But, you know, like, you generally keep maybe 5 of those if they're good, but I don't know if every single one is post-worthy, whereas some people I know, they'll literally post every selfie that they take, and it's like, well, you know, it's nice to have them in your album in your phone, but it's not necessarily something the whole world has to see. Like, it's like I've seen people post them just for the likes. You know, they don't feel good about their picture until they see someone else likes it. You can't deny that when you start getting attention, you start feeling good about yourself. It's a natural thing. especially, you post a picture, if you get a lot of likes from that picture, you start liking it more too. It's all psychological, it makes sense. But in the end, your 1,000 friends on Facebook, you might know 10 of them, and just because they all like the picture, it doesn't actually make a difference with who you are or their perception of how people see you, because that picture will be forgotten. You are living your life all day, every day. So it's just, apply whatever rules you have for life to your posts and your pictures, and you don't have to worry about any of it. I think, unfortunately, a lot of people post selfies for the approval and praise of others, or it's like, they need other people's likes to finally like themselves. I don't do that personally, but I know that a lot of people are insecure about how they look, and you can't blame them when you see what these people look like on TV, and they expect you to look like that without the airbrushing and everything they go through. It's hard to actually be real in this world anymore, especially with the media.
So, have you or a friend ever had a bad experience when a selfie went wrong?
I had a friend that posted a picture of herself and captioned it as ugly, and other people were saying how she looked ugly, and I made sure to step in and tell her that she was beautiful, and she doesn't need to worry about other people telling her what she looks like, because she's beautiful on the inside and out.
I know some girls are sending provocative pictures through things like Snapchat, and I know guys will screenshot the Snapchat and send it to all their friends, and then it gets out and then becomes a huge problem. It ruins the girl's life. She shouldn't have sent it in the first place, but when it spreads and becomes a huge thing, and everyone's going to judge her, and it's just horrible.
I know, I had a friend who had that experience. She thought she was sharing something with just her boyfriend, and he shared it to all his friends, and his friends posted it on Twitter and stuff, and she had to make the decision to tell someone, to tell an adult, to tell someone at the school, which I thought was very strong of her, because she knew she was going to get in trouble, but she wanted it to end, and yeah, she got in trouble for it, but she knew it was the right decision to make. Granted, she shouldn't have done it in the first place, but she learned, and she's a better person now.
And also listening to your stories, I think it's another thing where, yes, a girl or a guy could send a provocative photo to one person, and then you talk about how that one person sends it to everybody else. And I think even though, yes, the person who sent the picture is at fault, but if you receive that photo, you shouldn't send it to your friends. You shouldn't post it on Facebook or Twitter. You should delete it immediately. And then maybe if you know that person well, talk to them and be like, you can't be doing that. You're lucky it wasn't somebody else who could have posted that all over the internet.
Yeah, I mean, once you post something out there, it stays out there. I've had a couple friends who've gone to parties and taken selfies while doing inappropriate things, and yeah, it's on their permanent record. It's gonna mess up their chances for college and stuff. So you just gotta be aware of what you're posting,
Well, sometimes it's an accident too, because we all go on Twitter and other social media, and we'll see those posts about a selfie that went wrong and backfired, and how there's something that shouldn't be in the picture but ends up being in it anyways, and the person can be ruined for life.
And I know it sounds exaggerated and everything, but really, once it's out there, you can't get it down. It's probably already on 3 or 4 different websites. It's probably stored on 5 or 6 different phones at least. And it's there for everyone. Colleges will look at it. People you work with could see it.
Yeah, you definitely need to be careful with what you post. If we look to the Gospels, we find that Jesus' teaching and life calls us to be other-centered, not self-centered.
The danger of our social media obsession is that it contradicts the call to live for others through humble service.
The selfie often says, "Look at me, look what I'm doing." And this directly contrasts with John the Baptist, a prophet in the time of Jesus, who says,
"He must increase, but I must decrease."
Before we post a picture, we should consider if it is really something worthy of sharing.
It's okay to keep some of our activities private and use the opportunity to grow in humility by not drawing attention to ourselves.
Finally, Ella discusses the importance of being present to others, not only online, but in real life as well.
And if she thinks Jesus would have approved of selfies if they happened when he walked the earth.
It's easy to have an online presence. You just have to take a bunch of pictures and, follow the right people, make the right comments. It's easy to have a presence. To really be present in life is different from having an account on Facebook or whatever. Being present in life is actually quitting the social media. It's living in the moment rather than, looking at the world's news or your friends' photos. It's forgetting all that for just a second and actually, making memories without having to document them all the time. It's going to the park and you don't have to check on your friend's Facebook status or, be texting your friend when, you're missing a beautiful sunset in front of you that you're looking at on your phone. It's quitting all that and actually being present in your life rather than being present online. When I think of Jesus in the modern world, I like to think of Victor Garber in Godspell with the high-waisted rainbow pants and the Superman shirt and red suspenders and that giant afro. And I think he would definitely be into the selfie thing, and I can imagine those 12 disciples all around him and just taking all these, we'll probably need a selfie stick with that many people, but then taking all those pictures with them. And that movie just kind of, it gave Jesus a fun side. Godspell, the play, the movie, everything. And I'm sure that he would have taken pictures that no one can regret, and they would have brought happiness to everyone's life. I'm a very religious person. I'm very Catholic, and there's just things that I've learned through my religion that make society's teachings just not matter anymore, I can take a picture without worrying about, that my tank top is low enough or that, my makeup is perfect. I take the picture because it's capturing a memory, usually with the youth group or something like that. It's just, it gives you a sense of modesty, and you can't regret, just being yourself and not making a fool of yourself for society's sake instead of your faith's.
So what do you think we can do in the online community without sacrificing our dignity or integrity?
Well, in my opinion, you could still be a part of the online community and be a dignified person and still be part of the daily human community. In the online community, it might be just sending a picture online to your Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and just put it out there for your family to see, to be a means of communication to keep in touch with them.
Yeah, I know sometimes when I see my friends' pictures on Instagram and they'll be at the boardwalk or something, that'll give me an idea, something I could do with maybe some of my other friends, go to the boardwalk, have a nice time, enjoy the summer while it lasts.
Yeah, social media is a good thing. Like Michael said, you can connect with family members that are farther away, that live farther away from you, but also you should always, bear in mind that you have family around you, so you should always connect towards them, not just go on social media 24/7 like teenagers do these days.
Yeah, you see on Twitter all the time how you see the memes that say oh, have you been trying to talk to this girl? And the people say oh yeah, I've been liking all her pictures on Instagram. It's not about the likes on a picture, it's about actually getting to know someone and interacting with that person face to face, not through some likes over Instagram,
Yeah, I definitely agree with Joe and Michael how their points are getting to know someone. I mean, the internet is a great way to start a connection because there's hundreds, thousands, millions of people on Instagram, all those social media, and it's a great way to know someone. But I think it is better if you meet them in person, if they live close to you, or set up, go to the boardwalk like Caroline said with her friends and stuff. So I think, it's not just about what you want to do on social media. I think social media gives you a lot of great ideas for what you can do with other people and how you can build relationships.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's if you spend most of your time on social media, it's how are you going to be able to get to know the people that are not on social media.
And see the real world.
It's more or less of a concept of, okay, do I want to see the world through someone's phone or do I want to see it for myself, It's a short life. Take advantage of it, That
reminds me of something a YouTuber said once. She doesn't like it when People go to concerts and all they do is stand behind their phone videotaping the whole concert. And it sort of defeats the point of why you're there, because if you wanted to see it through a screen, then just go on your computer and look it up. You have to take the time to put your phone down and actually look at the concert for what it is. You paid so much money to buy a ticket just to look at it through a screen, you know? So I think that's also, like, again, what Michael said, like, instead of seeing it through somebody else's phone, go out there and actually do it yourself, and you'll feel so much better.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I know my mom, whenever I'm in a show, she always has tons and tons of pictures. And I'm like, okay, like, and she'll be like, oh, look at all these pictures I took of you, look how great you look. And I was like, oh, like, yeah, that's great, but like, did you get to watch? Like, you were taking pictures. And she's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, well, then what happened? And she's like, well, look at this picture. Like, look, I watched. And I'm like, Mom, like, I want you to pay attention. Come again, and like, actually watch the show. Like, it's easier to remember something if you witness it rather than capturing it. Like, yeah, you can look back at it, but how did that make you feel? Like, when you're looking at someone, you get an emotion, you get a memory, and that, I think, is going to be more permanent than a picture.
Our obsession with social media and snapping just the right picture can actually cause us to miss out on what's in front of us.
However, we need to consider our motivations before we post a selfie.
Do we genuinely desire to share some part of our life with others?
Or are we motivated by the need for attention and a self-esteem boost?
As long as we can reflect and answer these questions, we will post just the right pictures for the right reasons.
We will not compromise our dignity by posting sexually suggestive pictures.
We will not live life behind the lens of our phones, but instead we will be present to the people and things around us.
We will have a good memory documented by pictures and our actual experiences.
Are there ways you can share your faith with a selfie?
We'd love to hear from you.
Contact us at realfaithtv.com.
Or share your thoughts with us on Twitter.
And we'll leave you today with this final thought.
Let us use social media in a healthy and dignified way.
Guide our minds to consider the motivations behind what we post.
May we fulfill an unmet need for attention and love through the relationships in our lives so that we only post and share what is good and encouraging.
We should all want to be other-centered, as Jesus showed us to be.
Let our social media interactions reveal the desire to be selfless rather than selfish.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV.
God bless.